funky.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Garrett. In today's tutorial, we're going to be going over how to create your own vlog style banner or header. This is actually a really easy style to do, and a lot of people are starting to do these for their vlog channels. A quick example is going to be Mars Bar. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. A really well-known vlogger that does daily uploads and stuff like that. He basically has the same thing. It's him in the middle of the picture, images on the right and left hand side, and then also his logo in the background. However, we're going to take the easy route and use some cool text to kind of space it up. And you can use any picture you want in the middle, and you can do this for your portfolio. You guys can do this for fun. You can pretty much do it for whatever you'd like. So before I get started with this video, if you do want to go and purchase this right away, it's going to be for $1 on my Sellfy. The link will be in the description below. You can go and purchase this. You'll be getting the PSD full of everything that we've personally done into this tutorial right here. And then also you're going to need a picture that you're going to use. I typed in on Google person taking picture with camera. I found this girl doing it, which is actually a really good example. You can use other things like someone that has like a full close-up of the guy with the camera. You can have a one-handed thing. Really up to you. You can even use your own like selfie or something like that. But basically we're going to be going over how to pen tool this and stuff. And then you're also going to need a halftone gradient. And basically that's going to be it. All the rest of the stuff we do in Photoshop with our brushes, and then also some kind of cool pen tools and effects and stuff like that. So getting straight into it, the first thing you want to do is either open your YouTube banner template or even just hop onto a new document. Make it around 1500 by 500. That's personally the size I like using for my Twitter headers. Make the background black. I hit Control-I on the background. And then you want to drag in your image that you're using for the whole entire thing. Right here is a girl with a very cool retro camera. Just going to copy this image and paste it in. And then obviously you're going to want to shrink it up. So just shrink it up enough that you can have her head going through the top of it. And then also the bottom of the body going through the bottom. So like right here is usually what I like using. The top of the beanie is going through, and then you have kind of like a drop off right here. So it looks like she's kind of standing in front of the frame. And what you want to do after this is actually to zoom in, grab your pen tool, and you want to pen tool around all of this. And I know it does not seem like a fun process to kind of pen tool this, but you're going to need to do it. And the reason why is because I'm going to show you really quickly. Is if we go through this whole entire thing, very quickly on pen tooling, around the arm. Basically, if you make a selection and then, make a selection, hit OK, and then hit Control-X, you're going to delete it and it's going to have these very clean marks around it. But let's say we're going to take the magic eraser right here and we go around the body. It's going to take out like really sloppy cuts and stuff like that. It's really going to take out a lot of the cool highlights and a lot of cool, like the jean, the denim and stuff like that. So definitely go around and pen tool this whole entire thing. I'm not going to be doing that in this tutorial because it's going to be a very long process. However, I'm just going to drag in this actual render that I did already. So, just going to basically put this in here and then center it up with the image just so I have a good thing to work with. So basically when you're done actually cutting out this whole entire render, you're going to want to kind of start doing the background next. I don't like working with the text right away. The background's kind of a nice important part. So what I want to do is basically hop over back to Google and just type in like city, Tumblr, street view. And always use the word Tumblr to kind of get these really cool photographic ones, like something like this. And the reason why is just because it has a very cool color correction already to it, and it's just a lot nicer. So definitely keep it towards something that you'd want to see in the kind of banner yourself, whether it be a street view or whatever you think the person uploads. So you can put that in here, then you can drag it over to the side. And then another thing to watch out is to always make sure that it goes through the whole entire piece. So in this case that doesn't, and I don't want to scale it up because I'm going to lose actual quality. So definitely just go through these, find a really nice one that you want to use. Just make sure, like I said, it fits the whole entire piece. A lot of these Tumblr versions have a very small size to it, like 610 by 910 is a very common one. So like I said guys, just definitely go through these and kind of find the best one. So let's just say you're going to keep going through these. If you go to size and just go to large, I didn't even think about this, you're going to get a very large scale of images. So, we can take something like this, which actually is going to be pretty cool because we have this light source. Just paste it in and just bring it over to the right side or left side. Doesn't really matter. And then just take your polygon tool and just cut out the excess ones on the left. Then you can type in city Tumblr, or no, excuse me, you can type in forest Tumblr. Go to images again, and then you can grab, you know, a nice one of the trees or something like that. And then for this one, you guys can actually scale up if it doesn't fit, just because this the trees kind of have a blur to them already. But of course, in this case, it does work. So the next thing you want to do is click right here on these kind of adjustment layers and create a black and white, which is going to tone this down a little bit so we can create this kind of nice exposure feel. So like I said, go to adjustments and hit exposure. Go to gamma correction and bring this to the right a little bit, which is going to tone down those darkest darks. The offsets you guys can bring up a little bit, nothing more than 0.02. And then for the exposure, you're going to bring it to either to the right or left, whatever you choose. I like bringing it to the left because it kind of tones down the darkness a little bit. And then we can leave that right there. So for this kind of tone, we're not going to want a super dark. We kind of want like a very nice offset on everything, because it's not going to be very dark. It's going to be kind of grayish feel. It has that kind of noise bumps to it and stuff like that. So next thing we want to do is actually add that kind of cool lips we did at the bottom. So I'm just going to grab the color of her beanie, make a new layer above the exposures, and just kind of make a very largy lips. And then with the help of Photoshop, that would actually just get centered out pretty easily. And then you can always just come back in and just kind of fix it up and stuff like that. Make sure that you have the right angles and right size that you want personally for your banner. Of course, if you really want, you can go back and size the girl into a better image, but basically it's up to you. So the next thing you want to do is make a new layer behind the girl, because we're going to want to add some shadows which actually help bring your eye more towards the colors of her body. So grab a brush in like a size like 250 and a hardness of 0, and just make black brush around the girl, and then put that below the ellipse. And this is going to create that kind of cool effect that she's standing in front of everything. It's having that cool drop shadow. So now that we have this, we can actually start working around with text. And for text purposes, I'm going to head over to defont.com. And I really like this website because it has a lot of cool fonts. So type in surfing capital in the search bar over here, and you're going to download this font. It's by Branded Quotes. Really cool font. I love it a lot. And basically for this, you're going to want to space out the words. So if you're using one word like template, you want to split it up straight in half. So it'd be TEMP. And then, you know, the next Photoshop layer will be LATE. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use BehrDesign. So what I like doing first is just typing in BehrDesign. That's the straight up word that I want to use. Make sure the color is white. Go right here to your font choice and type in surfing capital. And just size it up pretty decently. Don't go above 250, but, you know, definitely go check it out. And then you can just type in BehrDesign, and then I'm going to cut it straight up at Behr. So I'm going to move this over on this side, and I'm actually going to type in design on this side, and I'm going to just put it right here, and I'm going to put the Behr kind of centered with it, so the R touches the left side of the body, the D touches the right. And then we can kind of just merge these two. We're going to hit Control T, and then we're going to scale it down a little bit, and then kind of maybe put it on an angle. And like I said, guys, you guys can go back and put Behr, you know, more over here, and then design more over here. But it's going to be offset because I don't have the exact same letters on here. That's why I like splitting it strip in the middle. So Behr is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 letters, so I want to split it 5 on 5 on each side. So I put Behr D and then design on the other side. But for this tutorial, I'm not going to do that. It kind of looks a little bit sloppy. So next things we're going to do is actually make another new layer behind the girl but above the text, and we're going to grab the same brush and just make a nice drop shadow on top of that text, because you're going to want to make sure that it looks like that she's in front of it, creating that little cast shadow, but don't do it too crazy because you don't want to do an overkill of the shadow and stuff like that. So after that, we can start adding kind of halftones and little particle effects, and I wouldn't do this too much, but I do have this halftone gradient I'm using, and the link will be in the description for it. Just drag it in and make sure you size it so it's very small, but it covers, you know, the first half. Go to blending options, color overlays, make sure it's always white, and just kind of put it on the side like this. And then you guys can just take your polygon tool, cut that out, hit Control J, and then flip horizontally, and then same thing is kind of put it over here. And then you can merge these two and put it below the Behr text. I'd even put it below the second shadow, and then just make the opacity a little lower. which kind of just adds, you know, a cool effect to it. It's not so boring. It's not so like eh. Like I did it in this one, just very, you know, basic, very plain, but it's very nice. So now that we have that, we're actually going to take the text right here and we're going to hit Control J and then Control E, which is duplicating it and then merging it. And then we're going to put that below the original layers, hit Control T, and then when you hit Alt and Shift and drag the corners up, it's actually going to make it bigger straight from the middle. And then you can put that normal to soft light and then bring that opacity down. So that's basically going to leave it with a nice cool effect. And then we're going to start adding, you know, other kind of cool little effects. So we're going to go above the girl and make a new layer, grab our brush, same size, about a 250, and put a black one. It's kind of click in a couple places, maybe like 3 or 4 on each side, and then lower the opacity. Make another new layer, make sure the color is white this time, and do the same thing, but make it white. And just lower the opacity, of course. And then we can make another new layer, and we're going to take the size down a little bit to about 70 and click straight on the camera and just bring that opacity down too. Kind of leaves a nice glare on top of it. That's just something that I like doing. It's kind of a cool effect. So now that we have that, we can actually start designing our own things. We can start adding our own effects. So this is when you can start opening your packs up and stuff like that. For this, we're not going to use anything, so I'm just going to make a new layer. Gonna grab a brush on like a size 3 or 4, probably a 4 on white, and I'm gonna click like this. And basically this is how you make your own particles. Really easy to do, believe it or not. This is all you have to do. Just move, click, move, click, move, click. And it doesn't do the same effect as our regular particles do, but it gets the whole job done. So it's basically the only thing you have is kind of cool particles. And then you can, of course, add other things. So let's say that we're actually done with this. We're going to actually group all this together. So we're going to group everything that's not locked, hit Control J on it, and then Control E, then Control J one more time to kind of duplicate it and have your own work safe. So go to Blur, and I'm going to put a Gaussian blur on this on a size like 1.4. And then I'm going to take my eraser, hardness is 0 and like a size 300, and erase a lot of it except for parts of the text. So it kind of has that cool blur to it. We're gonna make another new layer, and then you can go through these, you know, you can go through a noise, distort, and stuff like that. I wouldn't do too much with this just because a lot of the time you're actually gonna do an overkill of it and make it a little bit blurry. You can use like a little bit of mosaic, but like I said, only a little bit, you know, keep like some corners a little bit blurred, but that's only like a stylized thing. And of course, if you want to do an RGB split, you can. But you can definitely do other things to this, like you can totally make another new layer above it and just add a really, you know, big light source on top of her head. Whoops, I was grabbing the eraser. So you can make it a little bit bigger than that. So you can grab like a really big brush, make like a big light source on top of her head and the corners or something like that. But it's definitely up for interpretation. So this is basically going to be it. You can add other stuff like text, like you can add subscribe, and then bring that straight over to the side. And if I was gonna put text like this, I definitely would put it above the person, and then I would take the color and match it to that kind of eclipse that you did in the bottom. So definitely keeping it red would be ideal. Go to blending options, go to drop shadow, and just add a nice drop shadow on top of that. And then you just got it going on. So basically that's gonna be it for today's tutorial. It's really easy to do, and I really thought that you guys would like this because it's something that I've seen a lot of people try to do but can't really figure it out themselves. So like I said, guys, definitely up for interpretation on how to do something like this. If you guys do want to go ahead and purchase this version that I made, the link will be in the description for my Sellfy account. It'll be $1, but you can pay upwards up to however much you'd like. But basically, that's going to be it for today's tutorial. Just make sure to keep liking these videos and comments below. If you guys do want to get this whole entire template for free, 200 likes will get the whole entire PSD unlocked for free. But that's going to basically be it for today's tutorial. Make sure to keep subscribing, liking the videos, and commenting. And hope to see you guys in later on video. Peace out.